Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my 11-week pregnancy update. What am I? 12 weeks, 3 days today. My last video was like super long and I was just super happy and like talkative. I've not felt that way. I was like good for the next couple of days. I actually have been getting out of the house and doing things. My parents are actually looking at moving here, which is really exciting. So I've been going and doing some research for them on building, which has been exhausting, but I'm very, very happy that, you know, they're looking at moving here. So I've been visiting like display homes and talking to the people, like spending all afternoon going around, and that's been good, but leaving me feeling very, very tired. I've also gone on like a few day trips, and shortly after I filmed the video last week, I got a call from my specialist who we went with to get pregnant and who we did the Harmony test through, or the NIPT test I should say. And he called to say, he's like, I've got some good and bad news. And I'm like, oh no. And he said, we found out the gender, and I'm like, can I please have the gender in an envelope? And he's like, yeah, no, that's no problems. And then he said, look, I think he worded it saying the Down syndrome test came back completely clear. But I've seen people say with their results, it's like 1 out of 10,000 or 25,000 or something like that. He just said it's clear. So I'm assuming that there's no chromosomal abnormalities with the baby, which is great. Then he said, but we have detected that you have a bit of a UTI. And I'm like, what? I have never knowingly had a UTI in my life. When I say that to doctors, they're like, yeah, you'd know if you had a UTI. I'd never ever had one. And he said, look, it can be common, but usually hard to detect because the uterus is actually pushing upon the bladder, and that can cause that to happen. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So he provided a script of some antibiotics. The trouble that I've had, oh my God, this is gonna make me gag. I've been really gaggy lately, like really, really gaggy. Okay, how am I gonna say it really quickly? I can't take pills. I took them up until like yesterday. Yesterday I just couldn't take them, gag. Anyway, finish that conversation. Okay, got through it without gagging, which is a problem. So I think I'm gonna get Dean to pick up some cranberry juice because I don't know if it's gone. It's probably been a week since I started the antibiotics, so I probably only took them for 4 or 5 days. However, they said that you're meant to take them directly after food 4 times a day, and man, like I have not been eating, like it's like 3 times a day is like what I eat. I don't eat 4 times a day. Oh, I'm gonna get sick. Whew, when does this clear up, by the way? It's so funny because like last week I was mainly fine, and then at the end of last week it all came back. I've also had some headaches, not as bad as the ones that I had in week 9. That was really bad, but just some light headaches. Oh my God, my skin has completely changed. I have oily acne prone skin. Obviously I don't have any makeup on now, but you can mainly see some scarring apart from like my chin, but even that's scarring. But like, and my hair, I think I washed it not yesterday, the day before, and I haven't put any dry shampoo in it, and it's actually okay, whereas usually it would be like an oil slick mess. And my skin, did I mention last time that my makeup was wearing longer throughout the day? Yeah, like I can't believe I've never gone through a whole day with makeup without touching up and have it still look perfect when I go to take it off at night. Like, it's crazy. This is, like, I've heard of people's skin changing, but it is nuts. The only thing is I'm worried that it might be getting a bit dry, so I have gone back to using rosehip oil at night. But yeah, I might need to consider changing up my skincare routine because it's gone from oily acne prone to dry. Like even the scabs that I have, like they're real flaky, like the skin's really rough. Yeah, it's so bizarre, isn't it? How crazy your body just changes in this time, like everything. So that's come on since probably, I want to say since around, you know, like the 10-week mark it's kind of started, and or 10 to 11 week, but it's just taken me a little bit longer to notice the full effect of it. And that's from around when the placenta starts to take over. I've noticed like a lot of changes. I do want to get one of those pregnancy pillows soon. But it's a kind of weird thing because I don't really want to like, I don't know, I want to wait till we get the scan results back next week before we like go out and start doing things. I don't know, is anyone else like that? I know some people just like go and buy the whole kit and caboodle straight away, but I just, yeah, I don't know. I guess like we've never been pregnant before, we don't know how my body's gonna react and carry, and like, I don't know, you just think of the worst, don't you? You can't help it but be a little bit scared. Oh yeah, and that reminds me, I've had a lot of discharge, which actually I read in one of the updates that something's happening and it's causing a lot of discharge. Like this is TMI, so just skip a couple, like 20-30 seconds if you don't want to listen to this. But this morning I got the scare of a lifetime. I got up to go get Penny up and give her breakfast. Usually like if you have your period or if you've got the progesterone pessaries, you just feel a bit of a like gush, not like full blood gush, but like there was a bit of a gush happening, and I was just like, oh no, oh no. And I sat in the toilet and I heard something drop and it was just discharge. I literally, my heart was like beating out of my chest. I was so scared, and there was just like, oh, can't say that's ever happened. How embarrassing. But that is something to look out for in this time, an increased amount of discharge. If I haven't mentioned the apps that I use Ovia Pregnancy, and that one gives you like, for example, the fruit size. So right now it says I'm a ripe apricot, and yeah, they also, I think that they email you like a weekly update with like what your body might go through, how baby's doing, like what's growing this week and things like that. Another one that I use is Baby Center, but I don't use that one as much. But that one's got some really good questions answered. Like this one says, is it safe to visit the dentist during pregnancy? Why have my gums started to bleed? I haven't personally found that, but I've heard some people get that. Parent tips buying maternity clothes. Yeah, that one's good. And then Pregnancy Plus. This one, I don't use that much. I think with all of them I get an email. I can't remember which one is the best email. I'm going to try and quickly talk about appetite, because even talking about it makes me gag. My friend called me up to discuss some dinner plans last week, and she knows that I'm pregnant, and because we were going to go over to her house and bring over some takeout, and then we were talking about it, and I said, look, don't judge me, but I've eaten this, because we can't cook at home because the smells are just, I can't deal with them. And she was just like trying to understand it, and we were talking about it, and then I started gagging. Like I started dry reaching, and I had to run to the sink, and I had to put the phone down, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm so embarrassed. And she was just laughing, but like, that's how bad it is. Yeah, my diet still has not been great. Like mainly like fries, like chips are the only thing that I can get down, no problems. Still chicken nuggets. I can't eat foods that are like too rich. Sometimes if I get like a burger, like the sauce might be too rich or something. Like the other day we got fish and chips, and the potato cake was really greasy, and I'm like, I took one bite and I said, I can't have that. So yeah, have not been eating great, but I'm just eating what I'm eating. Still loving those little ice creams. And having more naps than I was in the beginning, that's for sure. Sleeping a lot more. My sleep routine is a bit messed up because Dean gets up and goes to work, and I'm usually awake for like an hour or so, and then Penny wakes up at 8. So I try and sleep in like another little bit. Then I have a nap during the day. I can't tell, like I feel like I'm only asleep for like 15 minutes or something, but it does really help even to just close my eyes. Like I just get so tired. These probably all sound the same. But it is funny because now I'm like 12 weeks. Some people have announced, oh, actually I have a friend who's friends with the one that I was vomiting on the phone to, and I knew that she'd been struggling with TTC as well. I actually, when I told my friend, I said, oh, have you spoken to her? I wonder how she's going. Last week, my friend messaged me. She's like, oh, have you talked to her? And I'm like, oh no, like I'm not on Facebook or anything. And she's like, okay, I gave her your number. And I'm like, oh my God, she's pregnant. And I said to my friend, like, oh, should I tell her? Because I don't want to take away from her moment, but you know, and she's like, I think you need to tell her because she's a bit worried. And so she told me that she was pregnant, and then I told her that I was pregnant, and our due dates are like 5 days apart. And I was just like, it was really cool. It's cool to see, like, to be pregnant with someone else, because there's, I haven't known that many people that got pregnant in the time that we were TTC, but it was always really hard because obviously we were trying for so long and it was something that we wanted so bad, or you know, that I wanted so bad. It was really hard for me. On the other side of things, it's so cool to have that opportunity to be pregnant with someone that you know. Now I'm like 12 weeks. Like I've seen people announcing things, like there was someone today that put out a YouTube video saying she's pregnant with their second baby, and I'm like, oh, cool. So she's like a week before me. And it's just really interesting, like being pregnant at the same time as people. So I think that's all for today's update. I feel a bit better after like getting through this and talking through stuff, but honestly, like I've been feeling really nauseous that it's taken me a few days to even feel up to filming. And obviously, like I don't have any makeup on, I haven't worn makeup. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye. I gotta tell you something I could do. I could be running around chasing you, but I won't, cause I got better things to do. Rather spend my precious time chasing somebody who loves me.